Good morning, everybody. How you doing? It's Jeffrey Podfin from the Open People Network, and today we're at the UP series, which is put on by the town of Whitby and the BACD Club. And what we're doing today is we're actually have this great talk, and I will actually say great talk because it comes from a true entrepreneur, someone that has worked a long time as being an entrepreneur. And I think that one of the things that I want to say is that you took something that was super unique, that a lot of people have kind of jumped on board with, is the beard. And I'm not going to say this is natural or something that hasn't occurred before. I was watching a documentary last night, and it was actually on the Doors. And everybody in the film has a beard, and this isn't going to die. And you mentioned something earlier on about beards, that you're writing something that's a niche. And I actually don't think it's so much as a niche. I think you're actually into something that is massive. And it's not going to change. It's not going away. So welcome, and I think you did a great job today. And one of the questions I want to ask is, on the entire thing of what you guys have built over the last 2.5 years, what was the most enjoyable moment that you've had, or the most enlightening moment you've had in this experience?
It's kind of a tough question. There's been so many moments that were incredibly agonizing and painful, and so many moments that were just full of joy and like achievement and greatness and stuff. So I think it's important to try and not pay too much attention to the lows and celebrate the highs as well. But I can't really pick out any one great moment. I got to meet Taylor Swift, who's a hero of mine, so that was really great.
That's huge.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. We filmed a video that had a lion in it, which was probably 10 feet away from me without a leash or a cage or anything like that. So that was pretty crazy. But all in all, just the whole experience, good and bad, has been great for what it's been.
Well, that's pretty exciting. I'd like to meet Taylor Swift. Could be on the list now. Taylor Swift. Very cool. So as you were kind of going through all these different marketing techniques and funnels, all this great information to help startups and businesses move through, and you've had these experiences, and I guess you could say come at a few things that were fails and things that you learned from. What's going to drive you forward in 2018? What's that one thing that you think, if I focus on this, is going to help us 10x our business in the next 6 months?
I think really there's a number of things. It's sort of hard to narrow down. I guess it's sort of the same as the last question. Really need to look at the broader market. Like you said, beards aren't really a trend. If you look at Civil War era photos, like literally everyone had a beard, so we're not even close to that. Every man right now is currently growing facial hair, whether they just shaved or whether they have a beard like mine or a 2-foot beard. So it's really getting out into bigger markets with different products and different messaging, and having grooming products that someone like yourself who just shaved would happily use, as opposed to seeing our marketing and saying, that's not really for me, it's a giant beard. So it's kind of reshaping how we think about what we're doing and offering new things for people.
Well, that's pretty cool. And I do appreciate that when you start with a line, you worked on something, got people focused on it. Now they'll come back when things change and be able to expand your product line to go into, well, the clean-shaven side of things, I guess, as well.
Short beards.
Short beards are in. I kind of like the big bushy beard, but that's just me. Well, very cool. Well, I appreciate your time. I think that a lot of people today learned a lot of great things from you, and we hope that we get to chat with you again and deep dive a little bit more into the whole culture and everything that you've built in the U.S. and in hopefully Canada. We'll all come back to I guess, that grassroots of things. But we do appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Cheers.
From Vitalize and Jeffrey Podfin from OPN, Hard Boots, both companies, and with the town of Whitby came up with this program because we want our clients to succeed and we want businesses in Durham to do well. And part of that is there's not a lot of sales programs that are out here, and many times when people are in business, there's not a lot of sales programs or sales opportunities for you to learn how to be great at sales. And so we've had some really good speakers that Frank will go through. But I just want to tell you about Do It in Durham. So Do It in Durham started 5 years ago. It was an initiative between myself, the Spark Center, UIT, and Durham College to celebrate entrepreneurship in Durham. And we did it in this week because it is Global Entrepreneurship Week, and it happens around the world in 160 countries. And we came up with the name Do It in Durham because we wanted businesses to start here and to grow here and to create jobs here. We wanted to do that for now and also for the future of the Durham region. I know everybody knows that the opportunities here are really large because we're the last part of the GTA to really start to grow and build infrastructure and bring entrepreneurs out. So I think it's a great time to be an entrepreneur. Tomorrow there is an event about, now's the right time to be an entrepreneur. It is an event that Startup Durham has put on, and it's at the Ajax G Center. It's a new business office. So welcome. Today I'd like to invite Daniel from the town of Whitby up. He's just going to tell you about some of our events that are coming up.
Thanks, Teresa. Thanks for everyone coming out. It's a great turnout once again. Thanks. It's been awesome for 2017, this whole program. Really bringing traffic and people into the downtown. I'm also joined here with Manager of Economic Development, Sheila McGrory. She's in the corner there.
Hey, Sheila!
So downtown revitalization has been a big story for us. Part of the downtown revitalization story is to create events in the downtown that draw people in. So actually this Friday we have a Shop Local program. That's the Whitby Downtown BIA program. Just an event to draw people in, and then Christmas in the Village in Brooklyn, which is next week Friday, and you can already believe that I can't believe it's getting into that Christmas season already. And then we have Santa Claus Parade back December the 2nd. All that just drawing people into the downtown. So thanks for coming out this morning.
So Do It in Durham has its own event listing. This is event number 26. So we have 20 more to go. So I hope that you can come out and come to the events. Frank, if I can invite you up. Thank you.
Thank you. So I had some notes, but I'm going to scrap it. Nobody wants to hear a guy talking with notes. So first of all, listen, happy Do It in Durham. It's a fantastic week. There's 46 events going out. If you haven't gone out to quite a few of them, please go out. There's a lot of networking. I want to first of all thank everybody for this event. This is our 9th, and we've had a phenomenal attendance, but it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you folks showing up. So I would like to give you guys how this all came about, folks, was Teresa and I were having lunch about a year and a half ago, and we said, wouldn't it be great if we could put on a sales event? But not a sales event where people are trying to sell you their services. The beauty about this event is that people are sharing. I make my living in sales. I love sales. As a matter of fact, when I owned the company with Ted Rogers, they couldn't get me inside the office. I don't want to do budgets. I don't want to deal with HR. I just want to sell. I had to learn the financial aspect, but I just wanted to sell. So for me, it's never been about me selling on my own. I've always had people that I learned from. And so that's what this is. This is people coming out, sharing their stories, the good and the bad, and we've heard quite a few. Originally I was going to take you through every single one, but I won't. But the whole idea, the real message is that you can increase your business. You can sell more. Get yourself some good mentors. Get yourself some people that can help you, people that can believe in your vision. Because I'm going to tell you, I sold $30, $40 million a year. I was never able to do it by myself. So I had to learn from people. So I hope what these sessions have brought is people that can inspire you to go out and kick the crap out of some doors and get some sales. So today, we're in for a treat. You have to excuse me. So our November speaker, unfortunately, cannot be with us today. So about a week and a half ago, we kind of like, oh my God, our speaker won't be able to. He had to go to California for business, and we get that. So we were going to have Alex in the 2018 roster. By the way, we already got 6 people lined up for 2018, so we want you guys to join us again, please. So I reached out to a few folks, and I said, look, we need a speaker. And Patrick Leiber said, you should meet Alex Brown. We were going to have him on for 2018. Alex, I believe, is from Aurelia, up north. He stayed Barrie. He stayed here overnight last night. Now, traditionally, what I do is I do a little bit of joking about the speaker, because they're friends of mine. They usually come up here. They slam Frank for about 5-10 minutes, and then they do their thing. So what I'd like to do today, first of all, again, I want to thank you guys for making this an awesome event. It's our 9th. We've got a great lineup for next year. You can't do it alone. You're going to need people, so please, there's a lot of people that can help you. But at this point, I wanted to call out Patrick Liver, who knows Alex very well and saved my bacon, if you will, and brought Alex in here today. So Alex, give us a sec. Patrick, thank you guys.
So when Frank called me, he put an email out to a few people to see who we could get to replace the speaker that couldn't make it. I thought it was a natural fit to bring Alex out. He's got an amazing story. I know him from back in 2013. I started volunteering with Startup Canada. Alex was a volunteer with Startup Canada as well. An amazing organization that's connected me with pretty outstanding people across the country. Alex is one of the ones that stands out the most out of anybody that I've ever met, for lots of reasons. One, his work ethic and his ability to just grind things out. The ability that he's got to scale businesses, and also that he's so young, that he's done it at such a young age. He's got great stories to tell, and he's younger than I am, and I'm learning from the youth, which is amazing. I'm going to read a quick bio, and then I'll introduce and bring Alex up. From companies that have failed miserably to launching the Beard Club, which did $13 million in revenue in its first year of existence in a niche market, half with a broken website, Alex has constantly learned and adapted his surreal entrepreneurship journey to fit its requirements. From a young age, his parents instilled in him a bulletproof work ethic and some decent social skills. His dad taught him how to be an entrepreneur and hustle, and his mom showed him how to network with anyone on the planet. Because of them, Alex has built multiple companies, hung out with celebrities and some of his heroes in business and in life. Alex credits his success to his willingness to work his ass off when others weren't, and to never be afraid to get his hands dirty. After quickly finding out his university degree wasn't going to help him build an epic life, he started getting into the startup space, working and volunteering to build up whatever experiences he could. Eventually, Alex moved to California and started building companies with his partner in crime, Chris Stoikos, and his epic crew. Alex has been featured in Forbes, Ad Age, Adweek, The Huffington Post, The Financial Post, BuzzFeed, and Inc. for the work generating hundreds of millions of social media impressions, creating a massive following, and leveraging his network to build successful businesses in such a short period of time. The Beard Club videos alone have accumulated 250 million views. Through his volunteering and contributions to community, Alex is recognized as a thought leader in youth entrepreneurship and youth employment policy. In 2013, he was a delegate and awarded a full scholarship through the Global Startup Youth. In 2015, he was a mentor at Startup Global Youth, ASEAN, and then has been a mentor for Asian Entrepreneurship Launchpad. Everybody, please welcome Alex Brown. Supposed to be here is in California, and Alex is from California and here, so they just transported each other. Alex, thanks, man.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I don't know if I really need to tell my story. I also just realized that this is at a talk I gave in Germany, and I'm wearing the same shirt, so I need to buy some new shirts. I guess we'll get that all figured out. I kind of prepared, well, actually, Pat helped me out and prepared this deck, but some thoughts of like what to talk about today, but we'd love for you guys to ask questions as they come up or if they come up. Make it pretty informal, but I'll talk a little bit about my story and then some of the things that we've learned by screwing a lot of stuff up and what kind of came from that. So I'm from Barrie. I went to school at Georgian College. Before that, my dad had a landscaping company and did a lot of general contracting stuff, so I kind of grew up in that entrepreneurial environment and just wanted to work really young. So like age 12, I was like, please let me work, please let me work. I eventually started subcontracting for his company and started my own company and put myself through school. And then after school, I was like, I'm gonna get a great corporate job. This is gonna be awesome and make like 500 grand a year right out of school. And graduated in the recession in 2009. Was kind of disappointed at the lay of the land. So like Pat said, I just kind of realized is the chicken and the egg situation. Nobody wanted to hire me because I didn't have the experience. I couldn't get the experience because nobody wanted to hire me. So I'm just gonna go out and get the experience, and just volunteer and do stuff until I had it, and then people would pay me for it. That's where I met Patrick, working with Startup Canada. I started getting involved in the startup space, worked actually at a pharmaceutical startup doing business development, so I know more about pharmaceutical products than I ever thought I would ever know in my entire life. But it was a great experience. And then from there, I was sort of lost. I didn't want to be in that industry and didn't have any passion for it. I got introduced to Chris, my business partner. Went down to meet him in California, and he's like, dude, we hit it off so great. You know, I'll get you your work visa. Come down here. Let's build some companies. Let's get going. So I did just that because I don't really like the cold, primarily. But yeah, so we started progressing with these projects. He was already working on Vibe, which is a wearable product, which sort of failed. We did a crowdfunding campaign for it. Like 2 years later, fulfilled all of the units, but it was just the wrong timing. We were super passionate about it. We learned a lot from it, but we didn't get paid a dime. At that time, we were actually Airbnb-ing our rooms because Airbnb had just come out in California at that time, so we could pay rent. We were sleeping in the garage, which is kind of a cool story, but at the time, it really sucked. Then we launched Range to Go, and we just sort of figured out how to launch these projects. Like, by the way, a golf mat is way easier to launch than an electronics product, just in case you guys are wondering. But Range to Go did well. That's where I learned how to get products into retail stores. We did like Golfsmith and sort of a lot of the bigger retailers down there. But golf's a tough industry to be in. We weren't really making that great of margins, so we just kind of thought, like, what else can we do? This isn't really paying the bills still. Project Copilot was actually an agency we started. We actually figured out we had a knack for launching things and not necessarily carrying them through, but good at launching things. So we helped other people develop products, shoot videos, launch websites, do sort of pre-launch campaigns, publicity, PR, stuff like that. So that started to pay the bills. Then our first sort of win, if you will, was Coolbox, which is a smart toolbox. Another complicated product. We're actually just finishing the fulfillment for that right now. That did really well. We did a $500,000 crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo. And from there, my business partner Chris was actually on Shark Tank for it, which is really cool. That's where we really went first through our rounds of investment and stuff like that, and got to talk to all sorts of investors who said they were going to invest and then didn't invest, and some of them wanted to again. And it was, jeez. Stop wasting my time, but it was another great experience. And then from there, like in the middle of all of that, you know, we had this sort of mantra that we were building on. We were growing our beards out. Like, let's do this on our terms. We're getting more into like holistic health and natural products and kind of rejecting chemical ingredients and stuff, and started putting stuff in our beards and realized that this was actually like a thing. You put beard oils and shampoos and everything like that in your beard, but everything costs like $20 for beard oil and $30 for premium shampoo. And since I fortunately had done contract manufacturing stuff in another life in the pharmaceutical industry, we took, you know, some basic product ideas to a whole bunch of contract manufacturers. We started to build a whole pre-launch plan for it, and we just thought, you know, what can this do? And it actually just blew up. We hit every major media outlet within the first 6 months. And then, you know, we thought we had problems in the other businesses, but, you know, we ran out of products. We had to switch manufacturers. We had to switch fulfillment facilities. We would have 10,000 users on our website, and it would go down for the day. Imagine that. So a lot of different problems there, but a lot of really great learning. Pat, do you know how to put the video in here? Oh. I'm going to show a little video. Yes. We're going to mic the speaker here, but this is a fun video.
Yourself feeling empty and incomplete. Of others.
Can you guys hear that? Where's the speaker? On the side?
I have no idea. Maybe at the back. Let's try it again.
Yourself feeling empty.
Excuse me.
Do you ever find yourself feeling empty and incomplete? Envious of others.
You guys hear that?
Like something's missing. Hold the door. Are you being ignored in the workplace? Not getting respect from your fellow co-workers? Or embarrassed and unable to satisfy your partner? If you're patchy and impatient, you may be suffering from acute scruffatosis, also known as baby beard.
Every year, millions of men suffer through the slow-growing patchy facial hair known as scruffatosis. But you don't have to. Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm a real doctor. Just look at all my doctor trophies. I think they speak for themselves. And this is something a doctor would have. Sorry about that. Here at the Beard Club Institute, we are dedicated to curing baby beard. That's why we've developed these growth oils and supplements. They're carefully designed to help men like you achieve the full luscious beard of your dreams.
But don't take my word for it.
My beard was just taking too long to grow in. It was making me anxious and angry.
Why have you forsaken me?
But with some patience and these growth products, my beard is growing in faster and stronger than ever.
If you've got a thin, itchy, or patchy beard, don't give up. Our supplements are full of essential vitamins and nutrients that are crucial for growing longer, thicker facial hair. And our growth oil keeps your beard nourished and healthy from the outside. It's everything you need to accelerate your journey into the realm of the bearded champions.
When taking growth oils and supplements, men may experience a better looking face, an increase in confidence in sexual activity, free drinks at local bars, a heightened sense of purpose and fulfillment, new jobs, promotions, and raises, general respect and admiration from other men, and sudden interest in extreme sports, and a successful life.
Every man's facial hair is different, and you'll never know what yours is like until you give it a chance. Stop suffering from scrofitosis. Visit our website and join the Beard Club today. Seriously, visit the website. These are the best products I've ever used in my entire life. How do you think I got this beard? They work. For real.
I'm glad you guys like it. That's a really good example. We've done a lot of really good videos. That one probably cost us like $15,000 and it's probably brought in nearly $2 million in revenue. So we found video marketing to just really be a home run for a lot of businesses, like especially ours. And it came so natural to us. We love to make people laugh. We made our brand like humanized. We gave it, I guess, sort of this cult feel, if you will, and tapped into the underlying current, which is just beards. So we took something that already existed and made it even more fun and made a business around it. I think there's ways to do that in pretty much every industry. It's a little easier for us, I suppose, but video's definitely been our... PowerPoint's not my strong suit, as you can see. Oh, perfect. I'll just use this. So I guess like to continue the story, I'm almost done with my story. I guess I didn't realize it was this long, but so this is my business partner, Chris. Right around, I guess about a year and a half ago, we started getting invited to like different mastermind events and different like internet marketing conferences and stuff because people couldn't understand how guys who knew literally nothing about running an e-commerce business were running such a successful e-commerce business. And we started to learn about email marketing and building like proper sales funnels and lead generation and lead capturing and nurturing and everything. And at the same time, they wanted to learn how to make videos like that, like super cheap videos that they could use to put traffic on and sell. So about that time, we started, I'm not gonna show this video because it's not there. Unconscious Content, which was kind of our first like information product. And let me tell you, it's a lot easier selling information than it is selling physical products. There's no logistics or operations. It's amazing. So that's sort of like our I guess like our information product. We're not really doing much with it right now, but if you guys want to learn how we do video, if you go to unconsciouscontent.com, we basically got sick of answering the question everyone was asking and just put it all into a PDF of like, here's the step-by-step sort of formula of what we use to make videos. And so that saved us a lot of time. And this is kind of where I figure I'm going to land a little bit more in 2018. I like doing this and like helping people. I guess like getting a little more hands-on with different companies and going back to the things that we used to do, which is helping other people build brands, making some more info products like a blueprint of how to do, I guess like start to finish a 9-figure business in reoccurring revenue and stuff like that. And would love to talk a bit more about subscription businesses and stuff. Does anybody here have like subscription-based revenue or work with contracts or anything? All right, we got a couple winners out there, but it's definitely something that I think everybody should look into, is kind of bringing in some sort of subscription, some sort of reoccurring revenue in your business. We have I think right now about $800,000 in monthly recurring revenue. So if you can imagine us having to go out and chase that 800 grand every single month instead of knowing with relative certainty that we're doing a good job of bringing it back in, it's a whole different ballgame. And there's lots of different ways to bring in, whether it is like an information product or something that you might not have thought of, there's lots of ways to include recurring revenue and subscription-based revenue in any business. So I thought I'd just kind of like put together a few sort of different areas of things that we've learned about and talked about and done work on for today. But again, like if you guys want to interrupt me at any point, please feel free. I don't really have too much of a structured talk, but these are sort of like a lot of the main things that we've learned. Like I said before, we've screwed up pretty much everything except getting people to pay attention to us. So we've got a lot of eyeballs on our website, but we didn't know how to convert people, really how to to nurture leads. We just went like, wow, and everyone's like, cool, look at them. And then some people bought our products, and then we started to hone in and figure out our messaging and how to actually do that. The biggest mistake that we made was not building an email list. We could have had a massive email list. We have a pretty good sized one, but we had the opportunity to really like cash in on all this attention and bring people into a funnel where we could continue to warm them up. But we just thought email marketing was dead. Like, oh no, I never open emails. It's it's kind of bogus. But email marketing has the highest return on investment of any sort of form. Once you have someone's email address, you can just email them until they tell you to stop. And you probably should be tasteful about it. But it's really incredible, and we're just really tapping into that now. One thing I'd recommend, depending on the size of your business, but having a content team or a content person that you can rely on, whether that means copywriting or doing videos. You just literally stand out front of Durham College there and just like grab someone with a video camera and be like, hey, you want to work for me? But having fresh content and getting in front of people and turning their heads has worked for us. And if you can match that with, I guess, like building an email list, then you'll probably do a lot better than us. Another thing that we've done especially with Beard Club, is creating like a tribe and this strong brand around it. People loved our brand. We like I said, we had huge issues with like our operations, with our customer service, with our fulfillment. We were behind like 6,000 orders at one point, which was insane. And we're doing about, I guess, 2,500 orders a day right now, but it was just a massive screw up. We had to onboard like 10 customer service agents just to stop people from yelling at us. But because we'd like made people laugh and built that relationship and done something fun, like we were able to save a lot of these people and save a lot of these issues. People really want to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves. So kind of creating a tribe is really cool. There's lots of different creative ways you can do that for any industries. Some are harder than others. I won't deny that. Beards are a little more, I guess, easy to work with than, say, if you're an attorney or something like that. There's a really good book out there called Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. And he talks about creating a mass movement, which has really 3 elements. And if you look at any mass movement in history, good or bad, it's a charismatic leader who's my friend Chris, who is in all the videos and gets all the glory and recognized when we're out in Hollywood and stuff, and gets let in for free. And it's like, oh no, he's with me too. Yeah, come on. The cause, which is your culture, in our case, which is the beards, and this is who we are and what we stand for, and be yourself. And the new opportunity, which is join our club. Come in with us. So throughout history, like there are tons of examples, like I said, good and bad, where these 3 elements are present anytime you're creating one of those mass movements. I guess like business systems and blueprints. I've been working on myself this blueprint for how to launch a business like ours because I've already done it and screwed it all up, so I know what to do and definitely what not to do. But it's basically about like creating standard operating procedures for pretty much everything, like operations, product development, quality control, customer service is a huge one, content creation, but basically like trying to make a system for everything that you do so that you can duplicate it, or you can hire somebody to do it, or if you get sick, somebody else can do it. But that's really been like key for us as we've grown. At first, we were all doing everything, and then we were like, okay, stop. You do this, I'm gonna do this, and if we need someone to do this, we can hire them because we know exactly what to tell them to do. So that makes things a lot less chaotic when you're scaling and growing like that. And that's really the idea, like I said, try and break everything and create a business that you can scale up or down with, or make a pivot with. Break it, yeah. So retaining attention, like I said, hire a content team is really huge, or it doesn't necessarily need to be in-house, but try and make creating content in some way, shape, and form a big part of your advertising strategy. Again, it works at different levels at different industries, but the people that we've been able to give this sort of advice to in many different industries have benefited from it, and it's kind of cliche to say that content is king, but if you have really fun, exciting content, you're going to stand out naturally above everybody else that's around you. And if you are in sort of a more, I guess, less glamorous industry, a little more boring industry, if you do have good content, then you're really going to stand out. So hiring some creative minds is good. And having, like, I guess, the exclusive content for people that are your customers and giving them a little more, I guess, personal advice, or if somebody's on your email list, giving them something more than you would just give away for free makes them feel really happy to be a part of your tribe, if you will. So capturing leads and building funnels, this is something we did not do at first. We got a lot of attention, but we weren't actually building like a funnel. Previously, I thought a funnel was something you used in college with beer. That is not the case. That's not the funnel I want to be a part of anymore. But really, it's about sort of, I guess, like bringing people down. I got a good picture here. This is actually from Russell Brunson's other book called .com Secrets. .com Secrets is really good. Actually, if you go to .comsecrets.com, kind of redundant, but you can actually see how a funnel works through getting his book. So he does a free trial offer, which is the bait. So he does, free plus shipping. So you get his book for free and you pay shipping, which to Canada is like $12. It's really not free, but right there he establishes sort of like your intent to buy. There's also lots of different bait that you can use, which is, a free guide to this and a blueprint to that. It's also called like a lead magnet, if you will. But the bait's sort of kind of your very introductory offer to any customer you're hoping to work with. Then you funnel people down into a front-end offer, a slightly higher ticket offer, a middle offer, and a back end, which is sort of your big package, right? But you want to move people from the front all the way down to the bottom, and the bottom is where you want your ideal customers to land. It's also kind of called a value ladder. You bring people up the value ladder, but this is an easier representation because not everybody walks up the value ladder, unfortunately. I guess I gave... Yeah, so here's an example of how that would work. Like trials and lead magnets, free plus shipping offers. You bring people down. Then it's like training and courses. Say if you're, I guess, like a success coach or business coach, you'd have your courses. Then a continuity model, which again I was talking about, a subscription model where you're bringing people into, I guess, paying for like a coaching group, say. And then your high ticket items, which is like speaking at conferences or going and doing private coaching for businesses. So it's just an example, but for us, we just sort of had a linear sales funnel, if you will. It was like, beard oils, next step, balms and waxes, next step, shower items, next step, accessories, and that's it. But there was no real difference in value. There was no introductory offer, no free trials. We weren't really doing anything to bring people into a sales funnel like this, which now we're looking to build. And this is kind of where we're at with the Beard Club right now, which is additionally like building out our product offering and getting to a bigger chunk of the market as opposed to just a niche of beards, but is really going for retained engagement and customer retention. I think everyone knows how much it sucks to lose a customer. We've lost a lot of them, and we didn't realize it at first because we were just so excited to get people on board. We're like, holy crap, we have all these people buying from us, and didn't notice all the people going out the back door until it became an issue when our cost to acquire them started to going up. And so really like making customer retention a priority, I think is key in any business. Especially for us, especially for subscription business, because otherwise you're just treading water. As many people come in the door, go out, then you're just kind of treading water. For that, you want to maximize your customer lifetime value just by focusing on that sort of, I guess, like engagement and keeping them constantly engaged. At first, we were really nervous to email our subscribers because we're like, oh, what if we email them and they're like, oh, my subscription's coming due, I'm just going to cancel that. Now we try and look for excuses to email them and talk to them and constantly engage with them. So if they say, hey, I have too much beard oil, well, how about I try this shampoo? It's really about, for us, you know, and if the person wants to cancel, good, like by all means, like maybe you want to delay your subscription or maybe you want to try another product, but if you want to go out the door and pause your subscription for a while, absolutely. Let's look at the long term. Let's get you back in 6 months and keep building this relationship while you're away so that in 6 months you can come back on and try our products again. At first it's just, you know, why are you going? This sucks, come back. Now it's like, hey, you know, we'll see you again. How can we make sure that we're still building this long-term relationship so when they buy something 6 months from now, it drives up their lifetime value, and we know that we can spend more to acquire a customer now because over the course of a year or 2 years, we're going to get them back, and it's going to come back to us. It's kind of a tricky cash flow game, but and for us, we're really excited to build out, you know, exclusive content more so for members, like a Beard Club app to just constantly provide something that, as a member of the Beard Club, which all you have to do is purchase products to be a member of the Beard Club. How can we get more people engaged constantly? So like I said, we can build them on that longer timeline. We have excuses to send them a notification on their phone and an email saying like, hey, we just launched an exclusive video on working out and stuff like that. So that's kind of our, I guess, priorities moving forward. I guess I'd take some questions if anyone has any, and that's more or less it. That's me with a bigger beard and longer hair, but I recently cut my hair and my beard.
Yeah, I was just thinking that in the subscription business, you have a moving target of subscriptions. How do you deal with excess inventory?
Yeah, so I guess dealing with excess inventory is always kind of a difficulty. We actually recently rebranded from Dollar Beard Club to The Beard Club too, so that was a really interesting balance of trying to die down our inventory and spike it back up. Same with when we changed our fulfillment partners. It's sort of a guess at first, and we tried our best to really figure out what our inventory level should be. And right now we just try and keep like a decent level of safety stock. And we've made, I guess, actually in Excel tools that predict like what the most popular combinations of products are. We have 21 SKUs now, so things can get a little complicated, but we know sort of what to forecast because, say, out of 60,000 orders, 10% will contain this item. And it's not an exact science, but it's kind of the best that we can get at guessing. So we guess, yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious, from the beginning to where you are now, how did you finance the establishment of your business and its growth?
So we actually borrowed money from one of our other businesses, so I'm glad our accountant isn't here. We basically like sort of had to do a little backdoor borrowing, but we only needed about $80,000 to start the Beard Club, and pretty much all that was inventory. Everything else we did in-house. We built a little bit of mailing list with some Facebook advertising and stuff like that. But that was mainly for inventory, and we were able to repay that as soon as we launched. We did take a risk in that. What happened though was we have a 5-week lead time with our products, our cosmetics products, and 6 weeks in the hard goods from China. So we ran into a crunch as soon as we started going viral, if you will. It was great, we're selling all sorts of stuff where it's like, we're about to run out of stuff. This sucks, and we have 5 weeks. So we immediately had to place more POs, and kind of like the beginning was this big catch-up game to try and get caught up. So we are pretty cash flow positive though. We've got great margins on our products, and we've had pretty low customer acquisition costs. So in the beginning, like the cash flow from bringing stuff in helped us out. But about the 2-month mark, we actually got approached by one of Chris's friends. His name's Dan Bilzerian. He's like a poker player, like a millionaire playboy. Kind of a crazy guy, super interesting though, and he approached us. He has a massive following on social media, like 20 million followers on Instagram and on Facebook and stuff. And so he wanted to put up some cash to help us out, and he also has eyeballs as distribution. So he put in $250,000 to help us kind of get over this cash crunch, and then ended up putting a little bit more money in. So that helped us get more inventory in our stockpile and get ahead of the game a little more instead of constantly playing catch up. But at the same time, he started posting our videos, and we started selling a lot more products. So it was kind of a bit of a hamster wheel there, but that kind of came in. We've also, we did the Advanced Accelerator Program from 500 Startups, which is an American venture capital firm. So it's for companies doing more than 500 grand in revenue a month. And we went into their program in LA, which is really good. It's called the Distro Dojo. Went into their program and got to meet with all sorts of experts on growth hacking and YouTube and Instagram and pretty much like industry experts and trained our team on how to do everything a little bit better. But other than that, it's mostly been through cash flow, and I drove my mom's minivan here, so we don't pay ourselves a heck of a lot. So we're usually pretty good on that.
Question. Can you share with us a bit about your mindset when you're making $500,000 in revenue a month? What entices you to go to another learning program?
It was really for that, it was the connections that they also brought. Like the next time that we wanted to raise another round of money, having some of the best VCs in the world like on your side and at your table bargaining for you and pushing for you, it was sort of a future play in that respect. That was kind of our mentality. Additionally, we started to realize we didn't know what we were doing most of the time. We were kind of figuring it out and just working really hard, and we didn't have the kind of systems that I was talking about, and we knew that that would bring a lot of value to the team and all of us who are trying to run this thing and running around like crazy trying to figure things out. It's like, okay, maybe we should ask people that have done some of this stuff before instead of just, running ourselves into the ground. So it's kind of twofold. There's the connections and, just kind of realizing that we needed to be a little more humble about things and not believe our own BS.
Chris, the video, not Chris is your...
Happens all the time, don't worry.
Alex, I love that
Scrapatosis, yeah. We made that up.
Did you get that idea for that video from the pharmaceutical business? Because it looks like a pharmaceutical ad, right?
No, I'd love to take credit for that idea, but we, from day one, we just loved that idea of doing a fake pharmaceutical commercial, but all the terrible things they tell you or the side effects, we should make them all really funny, hilarious things. You might get promoted and get bought drinks at bar and stuff. So a lot of the video ideas we have just kind of come from that playful, joking around, oh, we should do this. And it's kind of fun to be creative in that respect. But yeah, Chris, my partner, is really good at sales. I can't have an argument with him, probably like you, because I end up leaving the argument being oh man, I was so wrong. Hey, wait, what just happened? And B, just really good at creative ideas and bringing new light to stuff. So most of the ideas are him.
So now you're at 800,000 and you're doing 2,000 orders a day?
Yeah, so we have, I think, right now 66,000 active subscribers. We'll do 1.5 million this month. November's a big month, but we have a lot of really cool things that we finally kicked into gear. So our website we built on a really unstable platform. We went custom from the get-go, so we actually kind of took off. Website broke. We were trying to add it and make it more robust, and then it crashed, and we actually lost 20,000 members over the course of, I guess, 6 months. That's about the time we went and we did the 500 Startups program, so we were able to stabilize things, and tech's always kind of been a setback for us, but that's kind of come to an end. We've built out the website a lot better. We have a lot more, I guess, CPA deals working right now, so people that are feeding us customers just for a set acquisition price. We've been able to work with a lot more affiliate networks, and basically we held off on dumping a lot of traffic because we knew we had a retention problem. Part of that is because of our website, but another part of that is nobody's ever built a subscription business in beards before, and some people are still wondering if this is even a lasting thing. Is this a trend and stuff? So we needed to onboard people a lot better and give them a proper indoctrination sequence. We weren't even telling people how to use the products, so then they would email our customer service team, which is another expense, but we weren't getting them to build habits. So until we'd fixed that retention problem, we hadn't been dumping traffic on the website anymore. So now we're kind of turning a corner with that and getting pretty excited about it. But really, the big picture still needs to be for us, not just focusing on guys with beards my length or Chris's length or mine in that photo. It's guys that have stubble instead of really short beards, because every man in the world right now is currently growing a beard, whether they just shaved or whether it's this long or this long. Every man's growing a beard, so there's a way to make those people laugh and to get them using our products, even if those products don't exist yet. Yeah.
Did you originally start with websites and then move to funnels? And if that was the case, did you see like your business grow exponentially, or?
Yeah, I mean, like our original agency, or just like with the Beard Club?
I guess any of your businesses. Like I'm just kind of getting into the funnel world now, so I'm just curious about how that affects your business.
We started with websites and sort of the traditional websites, and now we're just really understanding how to build out funnels.
Yeah.
And I think that if we'd kind of done it the opposite, I mean, I wouldn't change anything. Things have turned out okay, all in all. But I think like having a really well-rounded understanding of how to build sales funnels is huge for like anyone in any industry, whether you're a chiropractor or whether you're a beard company. I would definitely think that like the .com Secrets book, well worth the $12 shipping, I would say. Have you read that?
No, Expert Secrets. I just
Expert Secrets, yeah.
Yeah, and I just got onto the whole ClickFunnels world, and just creating my first funnel now, which is a little overwhelming, but exciting.
Yeah. The .com Secrets will really help too.
Yeah.
But you probably learn a lot of the stuff in the training. ClickFunnels is a really good program for those of you guys who haven't heard of it. You basically can like run a whole business from this really simple, sort of easy to build sales funnel tool. But I would definitely recommend looking into that. And he actually uses an example in that of a chiropractor, of somebody who's having trouble coming, really like, I guess, like making more money because they're just doing adjustments. And walks them through how to, get people in to do a massage for like half off, and that's sort of the offer. And then, doing an adjustment, and then doing like an accelerated kind of coaching program. So you can do this in any industry, which is how to like, escalate people up this value ladder, if you will. Whereas for us, it was just in the beginning, like, please buy this product, please buy this product, please buy this product. And by the end of it, people are like, I don't want to buy all these products, So I would say it's definitely like huge for us to finally be understanding that.
Awesome, thank you.
So you talk about building your brand, building your tribe. You started as the Dollar Beard Club and you changed to Beard Club. What was the incentive to change that name?
It was sort of, I guess, a number of different things. First of all, like, we kind of started as this Dollar Shave Club parody. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Dollar Shave Club, but they just like crushed it and doing like razor subscriptions, and they really accelerated the subscription industry a lot. So for us, it was really easy to just be like, hey, we're a Dollar Shave Club except for beards. So that novelty, though, had kind of worn off, and we knew it, so we'd planned to start pivoting this brand. It also, most people purchase about $24 worth of product their first time when they sign up. So not a lot of people were actually just buying $1 worth of product. We charge a flat fee of shipping. For the US is $3.99, Canada is $6.99, which sucks, but Canada logistics are tough. So it incentivizes people not to just buy $1 or $2 worth of products. They're like, I'll split that shipping cost across a bunch of products. So it was kind of the average order value didn't reflect that, and also it kind of made it just sound cheap, like, hey, we're $1, or it's $1. We actually have like really great premium products, and we'd warn that out. Additionally, we plan to eventually go international, so the dollar is less, I guess, valid and less of a fit when you're in the UK, for example. So, plus Dollar Shave Club didn't like it. I can't talk about that.
Target market. I know you're talking about men with beards, but like, are those the people that are buying the products, or do you know like at Christmas time are there women buying from there?
Yeah, there's actually there's quite a few women that are purchasing from us now. We didn't really make it easy for them in the beginning, and gifting's been a really tough one for us with our website, because when you're talking a subscription, it's like, say you wanted to buy something for me, which would be really nice of you, by the way. You would put your credit card information in, and then you would have to like rely on me putting my credit card information to carry on the subscription, or you could just do a one-time purchase. And previously we couldn't do those one-time purchases. But we've got a lot of data now on like who our best buyers are and stuff. But again, we're looking to kind of diversify that. But I guess to answer your question, there are a lot of women and people buying gifts, and we had to like actually change the way our checkout process works so that we could have somebody do a one-time purchase and then try and win the person that they're gifting to on a longer timeline and start to warm them up and become a customer for the long term.
Have you looked at Amazon as a way to market your product?
So we recently went on Amazon like 4 months ago, not because we wanted to or make any money off of it, just because we have to. Because there were like 20,000 people searching for our products every month on Amazon, and if they didn't find us, they'd be going to our competitors. So we're on there, we're experimenting with how to really like scale it up and see if it's a good channel for us. There's definitely opportunities for us to do a lot better on it with kits and sort of higher average order value stuff. But for us, we want people to be on our website buying from us at the end of the day because we want them to be subscribers and continually buying. So we're experimenting with it right now. It took us longer than it should have, like a lot of things, but it's a very good point. Like Amazon's a great channel. It's, you know, it's like pretty much like its own search engine right now for anyone looking to buy stuff. So we're sort of reluctantly on it, but now we're a little more excited about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alex, could you talk a little bit more about the lifetime value and the cost of acquisition? Because, you know, obviously that's extremely important. If somebody's worth $1, you're not going to spend $2. What's your math in that area, if you can share?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different like sort of nuances for us. One thing that's really interesting, when we first started to look at our retention issue, we thought it was really bad. But then when we took a closer look, a lot of people that were unsubscribing actually did so within the first like 5 days, meaning they just wanted to be one-time purchasers anyways. They didn't want to be subscription customers. So it's taken us a while to deal with that. But really like lifetime value is something we didn't understand in the beginning, and now as we have like a better understanding of it, we're able to build out different models. It's sort of different for, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's different for people that come in. Now we offer kits because we found sending people through this really flat funnel we had of all these different products and choices actually scared people away, and by the third thing they'd just be like, I'm out of here, screw this. So we offer people kits to make it easy. Same with gifting. Gifting is like huge for kits. If someone's like, I've never bought beard products anymore, or I don't know what my son would want, like here's a kit, here's the starter kit and stuff. So the lifetime value on those is actually a little bit higher, but the subscription length is a little slower because people will typically get it for a month or two and forget to change the product mix or something. So it was tough for us at first to really understand the whole lifetime value concept and how to make the most of that, but Facebook's been our primary acquisition source. We're starting to diversify a little bit more, but it's really easy for us to pick out what our cost for an acquisition is on Facebook, which has made it super easy. So once you have your lifetime value of a customer, and you have that, I guess, like cost per acquisition, you can kind of get a better understanding of if you can afford to take a cash crunch and acquire 1,000 customers or 2,000 customers this month, knowing that you're going to make the money back next month. And then additionally, going further than that, sort of the last thing I was talking about is building these long-term relationships. So as you mature as a company, you know that you're going to get that person back 6 months down the road because you finally have the email stuff in place to get them back. So it's actually tolerating a higher cost per acquisition on that timeline. But I think it takes some time to really be able to understand that and make it a science, and then be able to go aggressively, I'm going to lose money this month and I can afford to do it this many customers sort of thing. I don't know if I answered your question, but I certainly talked for a while there.
The reason we mentioned LTV is because it comes up a lot. As a matter of fact, even the UIT was talking about it the other day, University of Internet Technology, because people are not paying attention to what does it cost you to get that customer. And we've all done it. You're chasing and chasing and chasing, and by the time you got him, you actually lost more money than the customer was worth, right? So that's what I mean. So, but what I really like about your style is you guys, you know, we've been growing up saying when you make a mistake, you try to, no, I didn't do that. You guys are actually making fun of that. You actually, that's part of your shtick, if you will.
Yeah, very self-deprecating. That's sort of my shtick, yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we had to be transparent because we made so many mistakes and like had to send out a bunch of emails and say, hey, I'm really sorry that your product is a week late. Like, we don't know what we're doing, sort of thing. Like, this is our first real big thing. But people don't realize that, like, there were a lot of customers that were writing in being like, you know, why is my product late? And this was really only present for the first like 3-4 months. We've had a little bit of stock outs here and there, but got better inventory forecasting, fortunately. But people would write in being furious, and then we would kind of come back or send out a mass email to the people that were affected by, say, a stock out or something, and just make us actually like into like human beings, and people would like respond really well, and we've been able to save a ton of customers and actually make a bond with them because they're like didn't think about the human aspect. They just see a company and like this, you know, this big face and like, hey, you guys are making all this money and stuff, and we're like, hey, we're just trying to make this work, you know, we're human beings. People are like, oh, I love that. I like being part of this now. Like I get it, I'm supporting you guys. So we were able to like turn some of those like big flops into, I guess, like wins in a way because of that, you know, attitude of just being humble and saying like, hey, we're trying our best and this is us and thank you for being with us, sort of thing.
How big is your database? Are you asking that question? No, you go ahead. Are you able to share it with us?
Yeah, I mean, we've got like 450,000 emails right now. Lifetime customers are, I think, over like 270,000. But we only have 60,000 subscribers, so we've lost a lot, but there's an opportunity to win a lot back. I think like if we'd focus more on building funnels and understood lead capturing and capturing emails and warming people up, we would have well over 1 million people on our email list and be able to print money off of it, more or less. That's another great way to increase your lifetime value. We have a ton of like very similar products in our industry that we could easily, we haven't done this yet, we're excited to, but there's like little beard trimmer tools and stuff like that. If we wanted to make a 20% offer to, you know, say half of our customer base, and a certain percentage of them took that and just say like, hey, we've negotiated a deal with our friends over here, like, would you guys like this? That company dropships 2,000 orders, you make 40,000 bucks, you put that all into marketing, you acquire more customers. So once you build that email list, and I know people from the internet marketing world, when we did the Unconscious Content event, these guys literally don't have a product, they don't have a service, they literally just have a community and they build a list. So that adds a ton of value for your company if you have a list of highly engaged people. I'd love to see the Beard Club become more of a media channel because I hate making products, but I love selling stuff, kind of like you. So I love making money, that's really fun, but like having great content really affords you the opportunity to do that, to build a list and be able to offer products not in a really greasy way, but products that add value to your customer's life is a really cool way to bump up your lifetime value.
Hi Alex, congratulations on your fantastic story and your success.
Thank you, I like you.
I have a few questions on that release, you know, I just want to make sure that I understand. So, do you have any salespeople on the road? No.
We don't have any salespeople on the road. We're about to launch a street team though with an app that allows people to go out and talk to bearded people and give them free product and stuff like that.
Street team, I love that. Street team.
And
That's
do you have
Salesforce.
so do you manufacture all your stuff in China? Is all your stuff being manufactured in China?
Our hard goods are in China, like our brushes, combs, we have like money clips and stuff like that. That's all in China, but all of our cosmetics products are in the United States right now.
And do you have a facility here at all? Like, you just have an office here?
We actually don't have a presence here. Like Chris is actually from Richmond Hill as well, so a bunch of us on the team are actually Canadian, sort of flying under the radar down there. Well, we have work visas, but flying under the radar, being like, yes, buy American, and we're Canadians, but that's... products are American, but we don't have anyone like, I guess, like on the ground in Canada, and it's sort of going to make sense for us soon. It's really difficult for us to make money off Canadian customers because the logistics costs are so high. So we're trying to figure out if we can start maybe spike the demand and manufacture here in small batches or ship batches to like Toronto or somewhere in the middle of the country and like fulfill from here. Same thing as when we expand to the UK, hopefully next year, is making product there, shipping from there, because you know, it takes a long time for us to ship something from LA up to Toronto, and it costs a lot of money, not just for our customers, but for us. Like, so it's trying to make sense of when that point, that tipping point occurs, more or less.
Alex, do you have a team of people that respond back to your customers online?
We do, yeah. So we use, it's called Applied Perceptions. They're like a customer service kind of outsource firm. We started bringing more and more customer service people online. We don't do, I'm not sure if you're asking about this, like a little more outbound stuff. Like there's seriously an opportunity for us to do a little more in that area in terms of like more personal connections with customers, because we've realized actually when people talk to customer service, they have generally a positive experience and stick around longer. So if there's a way to like really like scale that up and increase those impressions and make it cost effective, it could be really good for a lifetime value. I don't know if that answered your question. Again, I'm just talking.
Oh, yeah. You have people that respond back to
yeah.
to make sure that they're doing it faster. So I love the concept.
Yeah.
Low overhead, high volumes, good margins, money-making propositions. How do you see your future? How do you see the future coming forward now? You know, like, you know, people, like you said, is this a trend? Is this, you know, like what else are you adding to your portfolio?
Yeah, so we have a lot of ideas. I kind of touched on it before, is how do I, start to sell products and start to be more appealing to a guy like yourself who doesn't have a beard like mine.
I have a beard, actually.
Yeah, well, see.
And I love your concept because it does, like when you do have a beard,
Mm.
actually, it's a lot more work to take care of a beard than it is just to shave every morning.
Mm.
Right? But
I would beg to differ, but I'm biased. But it definitely, there's more to it, like trimming and stuff like that. But yeah, so I guess there's a lot of different avenues, and one's product development. One is, I guess, like we still have only had, what was it, 250,000 lifetime customers, and we actually paid for a study that says that there's approximately 18 million bearded men in the US that have over an inch of hair. So we're just scratching the surface on the niche, let alone like the actual thing. So we're trying to tackle both of those at once. And also make content a really big priority for us, and start to like build that email list and build that, I guess, media channel side of the business, so that we have like, if we're an acquisition target for someone like a Unilever, it's like, hey, we have all these sales, but we also have this community of 4.5 million men that have our app just because it has funny videos every day and workout advice, relationships, dating, survival skills, like all the stuff men want to know. So building the media channel side and getting people's attention and retaining it is almost as valuable as selling them products, because you can sell anyone anything once you have their attention, their trust.
so you've been doing this for a year, you said, right?
For 2.5 years.
So 2.5
Yeah.
years. And how many people on your team right now?
Full-time people, we have 15, most of them in California. But we outsource all of our production of the products, so they have a team of people working on it. We have probably 10 people that work on our line in the fulfillment center. And then we have, I think, 4 contracted customer service people as well.
Good job, Alex.
Thank you.
I just wanted to know, at this point in your growth in your company, is there any opportunity for you to be involved with the community? Any outreach?
Yeah, that's something like, in terms of like, from a corporate side or from a personal side?
Personal and, well,
Yeah, that's something that
presence in the community.
That's something that I really want to get back into a little more, because I've had my head down for so long. It's like why I'm here and why Pat and I connected, and it's great to kind of be here, because I think the more people that I tell about my mistakes, the more valuable they are. So I think it's kind of a cool way to make those experiences a lot more valuable, is if I can at least have one idea that helps somebody today. I feel like it's been worthwhile and been worth the trip to Whitby. Actually, complete side note, but I realized that I have a history of the city. I had my first kiss here. I realized that driving up here this morning. But to answer your question, yes, I would like to give back to the community more.
So you mentioned angels. Okay, I'm an angel investor. I guess the guys that didn't invest, you're kind of kicking themselves in the head a little bit, no?
Yeah, but I totally understand though. Like we were originally kind of looking for some seed investment, but we've kind of touched on it a couple of times. People tend to have the mindset, and for good reason, they don't want to lose their money, of like, there's a cap here. Like there's the beard market's not going to be around forever. It's a trend. It's sort of, so people don't necessarily see the opportunity. They see like the ceiling. So, and we've seen the ceiling at certain points and being stagnant and stuff, but it's through that we've gained the understanding on building the media side of the business, diversifying the product offering and the messaging. So, like, yes, I'm sure there's a lot of people kicking themselves for not investing, and we almost closed like a larger round about a year ago, and I'm glad it didn't happen. But I totally get it. I understand. So there's no hard feelings. Now they're all knocking on the door.
Good for you. Yeah, sorry. I'm a health coach. I'm moving on to online education. Eventually, I'd like to a corporate product. So when you first started out, can you just kind of walk us through, like, beards are trending right now. I want to come up with product. How did you think about, okay, where are you going to go, or what did you?
We kind of just stole the idea, like most stuff. No, but we just looked at what was working out there and what products were really popular, and what the price points were, and then how we could spin like a unique value proposition on that, which for us was offering at 10% of the price of what our customer or competitors were for the same sort of price. So it was just sort of like research and figuring out what was out there, what was working, and then trying to get into a little more sub niche with new products. Our growth products, like which the scruffitosis commercial was on, that was our first real home run, because prior to that we were just sort of general beard products. But we had seen another company that had growth vitamins, and we looked into it a little more, and these are vitamins that, you know, are for men and women. It just has biotin and vitamin E and stuff, so it doesn't make you grow hair where you don't have it, but it makes your hair stronger and fuller. And those products and that video were an absolute home run for us because we didn't realize this at the time, but we were actually like solving a problem. And previously it was just like, oh yeah, the problem is that beard products are too expensive. That's not a problem. It's really not that big of a problem. So like, I guess like finding things that actually solved a problem and then be able to make content like that, or, you know, lead magnets or whatever that go towards like the pain points that your customers are having and focusing on how your solution solves that problem. We didn't understand that at first, and once we had the growth products, well, now I get it, you know. What else can, like, is there beard itch? Like, is that a problem? I think it's a problem, you know. So that really helped us, is finding out like what the problems are and how to solve them.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have a chief revenue officer or a VP of sales? Sales focused person? Not
really. So actually, I forgot, we actually had a very, very early investor of $40,000, and he's been like a really good guy for us. He's ran an app, and so he more or less like helps us with all of our data. Our COO is actually an animal with numbers as well, and we have sort of a contracted CFO. So between the three of them are just constantly crunching numbers and figuring out like, you know, what is the lifetime value? What can we afford for the CPA? Like, how can we tweak this and improve that? So it's kind of a trifecta there.
You shared a lot of really great back-end things, the email list, the funnels, etc. But looking back now, and what would be one thing that you would tell yourself 2.5 years ago, or that you would maybe take forward as you're creating new ventures? Just one thing.
Yeah, it's really like the list and building, I guess, building that community or building a list. Like, after having met so many people that just build communities and lists and don't have any products and make more money than I do, it's really like about focusing on that and not just necessarily getting attention, but it's retaining it and keeping it going and stuff like that. That's probably the number one thing I've learned.
How did you keep going after? It sounds like there was a few like situations that came up along the way. So what it was that kept you going? How did you persevere?
Like personally or like as a business?
Both.
Just because we had to, more or less. We finally had something that was working, and it was like we were not going to let it go on a personal and a business level. So we were going to do whatever it took to keep that going. In terms of like keeping people's attention and keeping them on, we managed to do that with content instead of just, you know, building an email list. And now we've actually changed our content strategy. We don't have as many like big, long, full-length commercials. We launch videos every single day now that are like smaller and funnier, but infinitely cheaper and keep people's engagement running. So it's, I guess, like, yeah, we had to, and now we're just kind of doing it more consistently and constantly.
Only because I got a little bit more history than everybody else in here. You talk about the importance of having recurring revenue. Tell everybody about kind of what that's afforded you from a personal lifestyle side of things. I know that you've gone through like a nomadic period, and I see like a lot of what you guys are doing down in California, which doesn't kind of align with a 9-to-5. So I'd love everybody to kind of hear what regular recurring revenue can afford you from a personal perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of a different example because we have like a really great team that's actually in the office all the time, but like I'd said before, like having a big chunk of your revenue, not having to chase that revenue every single month, reoccur naturally and come in, is absolutely massive. But because we contract out a lot of our like actual like operations and stuff, you know, like Pat said, I'm able to travel a lot. I've been back in Canada here for a couple months. I'll be here till January before I go back to California, and then probably travel around a little bit again, which is, I guess, sort of the lifestyle entrepreneur dream or whatever, but it gets old sometimes. But yeah, it's really awesome to be able to have that reoccurring revenue to fall back on, to not really fall back on unless you're focused on growth. Like, you're not gonna ever get to the next level, but it's really more sort of like having an awesome team that's afforded that.
In regards to the angel world, content, I gotta be honest, I'm 55, you know, this community, when I see community of choice for business, It's a different community. Jeffrey also mentions community. A lot of these companies that are pitching, startups, this seems to be a strategy. This whole building a community, creating content. And you're not just creating content, it's about selling. You're talking about health tips and all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So is this a trend? Like, is this the way to get customers these days? Because people are phoning and cold calling, and like somebody called me yesterday for staffing services. Guys, there's one of me. I don't need staffing. I need a job, but anyway. But is this going to be more and more and more?
Yeah, I truly believe it is, and it is more difficult for certain people to do in certain industries. Like a staffing company might have a harder time than a beard company. But say if you saw a really funny video for a staffing company, you might not need it now, but for another company that you're invested in, be like, hey, I saw this hilarious video. Like maybe you should. This name stuck. This is the name. So and it's the same reason that funeral homes advertise. Not that you need it right now. It's just to get in your mind and start doing it. So. Putting out that content, especially with social media and stuff like that, is a lot cheaper and easier to get in front of people than it ever has been before.
I was curious about your web infrastructure. You kind of touched on earlier that you had a custom build. You had a custom build of your website, and then it crashed. And did you rebuild, hire new programmers, or did you go to like a software?
Yeah. So it was built. I can't even remember what Frankenstein system we had, but basically instead of going with something that was a little more out of the box and simple, and actually we had spoken to Pat about building the website, and I should have went with him, but I didn't, so we left a bunch of money on the table, but we're still friends. But we built it off of sort of a custom system. We had developers that were doing it for sweat equity, but they were like sort of big picture developers, and they wanted to solve the world's problems and forgot that we just needed a subscription website that worked. And it was really more about us not having a roadmap for what we needed from our website, and until recently we really didn't have that. We were sort of just like, hey, what if we added this in, and wouldn't it be cool to do milestone gifts and stuff like that? So we're just shooting all these ideas at them, and eventually it got so fragmented that it just sort of broke, and we couldn't add things onto it safely. Where are you going? So like not having that roadmap was something that really screwed us, and we can't put all the blame on developers or whatever. We didn't really know what we wanted. It took us a while to really hone in on that. We're also looking at kind of building off. At the time too, when we launched websites like Shopify and WooCommerce, they didn't have the most robust like reoccurring billing engines. They worked, but it was really hard to tie in a lot of the stuff that we wanted to do big picture, so we were kind of scared off by them. But they've definitely come a long way. And there's stuff like OpenCart now that allows you to build it, like Limelight. A lot of the, I guess like the bigger CRMs are kind of getting into this. So there's a lot more options now to build something like that. And that's sort of my advice to anyone is to go get a website from Pat or just build something that works.
One more question, if I could. Because Frank's shamelessly plugging the Angels. I was on the board of the Canadian Crowdfunding Association, and you've had what sound to be pretty great successes going the crowdfunding route. Mm. Could you speak a little bit about how you achieved that, and then what you used the funds for?
Yeah, so in both cases, like with Vibe, our wearables product, and with Coolbox, we raised with Coolbox $500,000. It was a really incredibly, capital-intensive product to make. So we actually had to bring in outside investment to finish it. Both projects dragged on for Coolbox is still about to fulfill for this Christmas. So they've dragged on a really long time till we could actually get product in people's hands. And fortunately with Coolbox, we've licensed the product out going forward to former Shark Tank shark Kevin Harrington. I'm not sure if you guys know him, does infomercials and stuff like that. So we did a deal with him, but really the formula for doing a crowdfunding project for us is same as launching really any product. Is about kind of building up like a pre-buzz, like having a solid video, solid marketing plan, and then just like working your butt off to get it in front of as many people as possible. There's lots of nuances in terms of like creating, the page and what works and what doesn't. I would actually, looking back, have rather have done it through, just our own website as opposed to like an Indiegogo. Because I think it converts better through your own website as a pre-sale, but there's different sort of nuances. If you go through Indiegogo or Kickstarter, you're not necessarily on the hook for everything. You can't be sued over it if you make every reasonable attempt to make the product. We've never, taken anyone's money and ran, but I think a lot of people are really interested in doing crowdfunding campaigns right now because it's like, oh yeah, I don't have the money for it, I'll just crowdfund it. But take it from me, if you don't get enough money, it's really tough to make it happen because you just sort of hit this like dead in the water point and you have to really claw your way back. But overall, like, we wouldn't be where we are today without crowdfunding. So I think it's an awesome tool. I don't know if I answered your question, really. I keep talking in circles, but yeah, it's sort of the same as launching any product. Just make a big splash, have a great video, a great marketing plan, and work your butt off for the campaign.
Yeah, I think that your last words are probably the ones that are ringing the most true for everybody here. Work your butt off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same with absolutely anything. And have the right systems.
Frank, did you want to say a few words? Is there something
Actually, would you mind?
Yes. I know, we know.
So first of all, thank you, Alex. That was phenomenal. What a great way to end the 9th session. Usually Teresa closes it off, but I actually wanted to give a big shout out to the people that made this possible. Of course, Teresa with the BACD. And lastly, of course, our caterers that come in, like Fran, some of our speakers, like Louis in the back, the guy was asking all the questions, Alex. And then, of course, OPN. Not to plug Angels again, but Monday night. So OPN, I asked Jeffrey, Teresa and I, if he could just video the first session and stream it. He's been here for 9 times, along with Brian. So thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Brian. If you'd like, of course, tomorrow is BizFest, which is the 16th at the G Center. Every resource in the community's there that can help your business grow. Come on out. It's in Ajax. And then lastly, of course, Town of Whitby will be there, BACD, and a lot of other resources. And then on Monday night, we have Pitch It Durham, okay? And that's where you will see some folks looking for money, and they're going to be pitching to angels. And Jeffrey puts that on at 5:30 at the G Center in Ajax. So if you've never seen a Pitch It event, it's free. Come on out, have a little bit of food, have a little bit of drink. But anyway, thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Town of Whitby. And thank you, Teresa.
Thank you. So I hope to see you at the other events, but I have one call to action. If you need help building your ClickFunnels, we can do that. So connect with us at BACD. Thank you.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Jeffrey Potvin from the Open People Network, or OPN.Ninja. We just had a great show today with Alex Brown from the Beard Club, who used to be and rebranded to the Dollar Beard Club, from the Dollar Beard Club. And it was a really good conversation. I think he really helped people understand how funnels work, how you can actually deep dive into your business and look forward and plan and strategize on how to build up email databases, and connections. But the thing that really came and resonated with me was how to build a group, how to get a following, how to get people interested in your business. And I think that's a key learning that we all should take from that, is how do I build community? And community is number one. So I want to thank everybody today from the BCAD, Vitalize, the Town of Whitby, and Alex Brown from the Beard Club for joining us today. Thank you.